Welcome on into Quarterback Film Room. I'm Brian Trulin. So I'm your host here, founder of the blog, YouTube channel, etc. So what we're going to be doing now, launching a new idea, so to speak. So each and every Friday during the National Football League season, I'll be breaking down every single game. Hopefully we can grow this thing and we can have special guests on and we can collaborate with other analysts and media members. But for tonight, it's just me. I'm going to be going solo here, breaking down all 15 Week 1 games. First and foremost, though, I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Torpedo. It's a double IPA, notes of citrus, herbal aromas, and a little bit of pine. But this is what I'm going to be drinking this evening. So cheers, people. So let's get right into it. Minnesota Vikings play the San Francisco 49ers. So Kyle Shanahan is going to travel up to Minnesota to face off against Mike Zimmer and the Vikings. This will be a 1 o'clock Eastern start Sunday. And interesting about Shanahan. So this week during his press conference, he mentioned the fact that he was attempting to game plan Jerick McKinnon. So he was game planning ways to utilize Jerick McKinnon in this game against the Vikings, against Mike Zimmer's defense, since February of this year. So Shanahan's going to be ready. Expect some creative shot plays for Jimmy Garoppolo, and expect the San Francisco offense to be clicking on all cylinders. Now, I'm fearful because of these two reasons. Number one, we saw Doug Peterson outcoach Mike Zimmer in the NFC Championship game. So we can only believe that Shanahan will be attempting to do the same thing. Okay? So let's hope it doesn't get out of hand quickly, because it very well could. And then also John DeFilippo hasn't called a game as an offensive coordinator since 2015 when he was in Cleveland. So John DeFilippo managing nerves in this one early. Being able to get Kirk Cousins into a rhythm, and just managing all of the moving parts that come with being a play caller. So that'll be interesting to watch too. So how the Vikings start as an offense could be telling. Final prediction in this one, Kyle Shanahan ends up getting the upper hand in this one, much like the Eagles did in the NFC Championship game. I'm in Minnesota too, so it's not like I'm not a Vikings fan. It's just Shanahan and the Niners are going to end up winning this game 31-20 over the Vikings on the road. So there you have it. Let's stay. Actually, okay. So next game, another 1 o'clock Eastern start. Baltimore hosts Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. So Nate Peterman, second-year player, 5th-round draft pick, will be making his second career start for Buffalo on the road. Now, a key storyline to watch in this game is the Ravens defense. Okay, throughout the preseason, the Ravens defense have looked elite. They have, defensive coordinator Don Martingale has done a great job of crafting up exotic blitzes, and that's a very active Ravens second level of the defense, and their defensive line has been able to generate pressure as well. So that's a very aggressive, fast Baltimore Raven defense. So by all accounts, Nate Peterman is going to have a tough day. So look for Nate Peterman to struggle. And then on the other side of things, Joe Flacco in Baltimore have been on point all throughout August. I expect that to continue. Look for perhaps John Smokey Brown to score. Look for the Ravens to try to get the ball deep down the field to these wide receivers, Michael Crabtree, John Brown. And Marty Morningwing and Joe Flacco seem to be clicking. So Ravens 31, Bills 10 as our prediction in that football game. Now let's stay in the North. The Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody's been watching Hard Knocks. We We all know about Greg Williams' defense. We know that Todd Haley's the new offensive coordinator. Tyrod Taylor's been looking okay. I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. I think the Steelers will actually struggle in large part due to Le'Veon Bell not being there, because Le'Veon does all sorts of things for that offense. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He's able to create space for himself running the football, and then even in the pass protection realm, he's able to protect Roethlisberger at times. But they're going to really miss Le'Veon, and I think the Browns end up winning this game 10-9. 10-9. They're going to end up scoring a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers are just going to get 3 field goals on the day. Cincinnati and Indianapolis. The Bengals travel to Indy. Now, these two teams just met last week in week 4 of the preseason. It is just preseason, but the Colts were able to rush the football with ease on the Bengals' defense. And then also, that Cincinnati Bengal offense has also been looking pretty good as well. So I think this one stays close. I have the Colts making a last-second field goal to come out ahead 23-21, but Andy Dalton plays well. He's able to distribute the football efficiently on the day. Andrew Luck does get hit a lot because that Colts offensive line is a work in progress. But the Colts eke out a victory. Frank Reich will be 1-0 as a head coach on Monday. So let's head back to the NFC North. The Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy, Mitch Trubisky, and then new linebacker / defensive end Khalil Mack make their way to Lambeau Sunday evening for the primetime affair. Now, Aaron Rodgers and that Packer offense have been being a little bit more consistent throughout August, both in practice and when Rodgers has played in the preseason. Now, I think that continues. I think Rodgers will get hit, and I think that Green Bay offensive line will struggle at times to hold up and to protect Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be something to watch. Are the Bears able to apply pressure on Rodgers throughout this contest? So that's going to be something to watch. Ultimately, I think Mitch Trubisky struggles at times here. I think he struggles with decision-making in large part due to Mike Pettin and Mike Pettin's defense and how he's able to disguise certain looks and be rather exotic as well. So I think the Packers end up winning this game 30-17 over the Bears. So let's head to L.A. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs making their way out to the soccer stadium in L.A. Now, Andy Reid's going to try to make things as streamlined for Mahomes as possible. This Charger defense is not poor by any stretch, but ultimately I think Mahomes struggles at times with decision-making as the picture may become muddy for him at times. And I think his accuracy wanes as well in this one. So I think it's a mixed bag performance for Mahomes, but the Chargers end up coming out on top 28-24. Their defense does just enough to keep Mahomes at bay, and then Phillip Rivers is able to use Mike Williams, Melvin Gordon in the run game, and obviously Keenan Allen to beat the Chiefs 28-24. So now we got Denver and the Seahawks. Russell Wilson and company heading to the Mile High City. This is going to be a low-scoring affair. The Seahawks have looked really good throughout the preseason as well. Had some questions about how Brian Schottenheimer would mesh with Russell Wilson, how that offense would end up looking, but it looks like they're on the same page. So Russell Wilson has looked good running the football. A name to watch for is Chris Carson, running back for the Seahawks. A big guy with a big frame, powerful guy, fast, and he runs downhill, and he has pretty good vision. So look for Chris Carson to possibly wreak havoc in the red zone. Seahawks won this one 19-16 in a rather low-scoring affair. Case Keenum end up playing okay. The Broncos are going to be leaving the football game not upset with the way Case Keenum played, but they are going to need some more help offensively. But 19-16 Seahawks over the Broncos. Oakland and the Rams. John Gruden and company will be hosting Sean McVay. I think this one is a high-scoring affair. It's that second Monday night game, so Gruden is going to him and Carr. I think they put up 43 points on the Rams. Nobody sees it coming. I think it's 43-37 Oakland over the Rams. Now, Jared Goff is going to be behind in this game because I think Gruden, as a play caller, ends up getting into a groove rather early in this one. So Jared Goff and the Rams are going to find themselves behind the 8 ball in this thing. But Goff's going to do a pretty good job of bringing the Rams back. But ultimately, it's just going to be too little too late. 43-37 Oakland over the Rams Monday night. The Dallas Cowboys head to Charlotte. Dak Prescott, Jason Garrett, Ezekiel Elliott against Norv Turner, Cam Newton and company. This, I think, is going to be a rather boring football game. Not a lot of big plays, surprisingly. I think Ezekiel Elliott does a marvelous job running the football in this game, but ultimately it's just... I think the Panthers' defense comes up big in critical moments. Cam Newton struggles in his first game with Norv Turner as his offensive coordinator. But the Panthers ultimately eke out a win here, 21-14 over the Cowboys. New York and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Jacksonville heads to New York. Tom Coughlin back at MetLife Stadium. Some things to watch in this game. First of all, the running game. Okay, how will Leonard Fournette run the football? And then Eli Manning. Is Eli Manning going to look like he doesn't deserve to be starting in the National Football League? And I think that's the case. So I think we're going to see early on here that Eli's overmatched, and the New York Giants offense, even under Pat Shurmur, is going to struggle here week 1 against the Jaguars. Obviously the debut of Saquon Barkley is a big deal, and I think he'll flash at times, but ultimately I think Manning makes mistakes in this one, and he's not able to handle pressure, and it's going to be a defensive struggle. 19-16 Jacksonville over the Giants. So the New York Jets, Sam Darnold, travel to Detroit Monday night. Detroit's rocking a new head coach. They should, in theory, have an improved running attack, and then obviously they have Matthew Stafford. So I don't look for the Lions to struggle offensively in this contest. Ultimately, it's going to be up to Jeremy Bates, Sam Darnold for the New York Jets to be able to keep up with Jim Bob Cooter and Matt Stafford. So ultimately, I think this is a closer game than people think. Detroit coming out on top 26-23. New Orleans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ryan Fitzpatrick, NFL veteran, heads on into the Superdome for only the second time in his career. I think this is going to be a game where Drew Brees, also like Eli Manning, actually struggles in this game. Okay? And I think we begin to see elements of physical decline here in week 1. Drew Brees struggles. Ryan Fitzpatrick plays out of his mind, and he's able to use his legs and athleticism to extend Tampa Bay drives, to make plays, to make throws. And ultimately, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is the upset special here, kick a last-second field goal to beat the Saints 27-24 in a must-win game for Dirk Cutter and the Bucs, because they play the Steelers and also the Philadelphia Eagles in weeks 2 and 3. So this really is a must-win game for them, and the Bucs win it. The Patriots and the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson returns to Foxborough for the second time in his career, and this is going to be a close game. Watson is going to do just enough with Billy O'Brien in terms of keeping the Texans in the game. Now, obviously, Tom Brady is going to be operating with some new receivers. He's going to still have his go-to blanket in Kevin Hogan, Rob Gronkowski, but then he's got Philip Dorsett and Cordero Patterson. It'll be interesting to see how Bill Belichick uses Cordero as a movable chess piece in this game. But ultimately, I think the Patriots end up winning 30-24 behind another Brady-like pride. And then Tennessee travels to South Florida to play Miami. Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill are going to be really motivated to win this football game. Obviously Ryan sent out all of 2017, and Adam Gase is almost feeling the heat on that seat. As the Dolphins head coach. So I think the Dolphins win this game 26-10. I think Marcus Mariota continues to struggle. His preseason has been up and down. He's been spotty at times in terms of his overall accuracy. I think the Titans only scored 10 points, even with Matt LaFleur, a Sean McVay understudy, as the team's new offensive coordinator. That's my dog just chasing a ball. Yeah, so Miami 26, Tennessee 10. So the Dolphins start the year 1-0. And then finally, last game on the docket for week 1 is, I should know this, Washington and Arizona. Sam Bradford starting for the Cardinals. Alex Smith for Sam Bradford. I think Sam Bradford, now he's not going to replicate exactly what he did week 1 of last year against the Saints, but I think Mike McCoy and Sam Bradford develop a kinship, so to speak, and Sam Bradford plays really well in this football game. Extends drives with his arm, with his ball placement, and he's able to distribute the football. I think David Johnson also helps him out in this thing. And then I think Alex Smith plays okay in his first game in Jay Gruden's system, but ultimately it's going to end up being Arizona 24, Washington 20. Adrian Peterson also returns to the desert, so he's going to be running with a vengeance for the Skins. But I think this is actually a pretty entertaining football game. It'll be the 3:25 Central Time slot, but I think Sam Bradford and the Cardinals beat the Redskins in this game. So